brand new Tucson was just released. What does it mean for this one? Hi guys, Eric here and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be having a look at this 2016 Hyundai Tucson 1.6T GDI Executive. It is a very good car, but this is a very competitive segment. How does it stack up? Would you like to be mentioned in my next video? All you have to do is to make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and tell me what car this wheel design belongs to using the comment section below. Be sure to identify both the make and model. Let's see who knows most about cars. A really big thank you to the accommodating, thoughtful and helpful staff here at ASJ Motors. They have a huge selection of quality used cars located in 2 locations in the Overberg region. One is in the industrial area of Hermanus, the other is located on the main road of Verliesdorf. They are open for business, so be sure to check out their catalogue, link in the description box below. The Tucson is a C-segment SUV produced by South Korean manufacturer Hyundai. The first generation was launched in 2004. It was based on the Hyundai Elantra platform, same as the Kia Sportage of the time. You had a choice of a 2-litre 4-cylinder and 2.7-litre V6 petrol engines and a 2-litre turbo diesel. A manual and automatic was also available on the V6 and diesel, along with 2- and all-wheel drive. It was considered safe to boot with a 5-star rating from the National Highway Safety Administration. The second generation Tucson is known locally as the iX35. This model was safer, more efficient and had stronger engines. Its design was much more intricate than its predecessor and interior build quality was improved. A range of petrol and diesel engines was again offered, along with a 6-speed manual and 6-speed automatic transmission. This is the third generation of the Tucson in mid-range executive trim. This model is fitted with a very impressive 1.6 turbo petrol engine that develops a healthy 130 kilowatts and 265 newton meters of torque. It is mated in this case to a 6-speed manual transmission. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour is achieved in 9.2 seconds, yet it returns a decent 8.3 liters per 100 kilometers on a combined cycle. When it comes to the Tucson's appearance, it looks more rounded than the iX35 it replaced. It also appears more muscular. The front end looks great with a big shiny grille and swept-back headlights. The profile is modern and clean. The small windows give the Tucson a coupe-like look. The rear is attractive too. The rear light clusters remind me a bit of the Stelvio and Giulietta from Alfa Romeo. It works well together, attractive yet simple. What is the interior like though? Step inside the Tucson and you're greeted with a rather basic but very well built cabin. The design is voluptuous, but it's as though our Hyundai is trying to play it as safe as possible. Thankfully, this does translate into excellent ergonomics. Everything is exactly where you would expect it to be. Build quality is good too, if not quite class leading. The center console, for instance, is a bit loose. Fit and finish is excellent though. There's consistently small panel gaps found throughout the cabin. Use of materials, on the other hand, could be a bit better. There is soft touch plastics on the dash and on top of the front doors, but this piece of silver plastic trim that surrounds the air vents and infotainment system looks a bit cheap, and the plastic that finishes off the center console is matte black unpainted plastic. Isn't that great? The color scheme is quite dark and dreary without a lot of shiny trim, and this infotainment system really dates the cabin. We will get back to that in a second though. For now, let's take a closer look, starting with the door panel. Well, I really like the design. It has 3 distinct tiers which are all very well integrated with each other. The door pockets are of a very good size. You get coin compartments integrated into the door's grab handle, and the door's armrest is softly padded and wrapped in leather. The door handle is made out of metal too, which is great. What isn't that great is the switchgear, as it feels a bit too cheap for this type of car. The doors do carry an excellent amount of weight to them though, and they close with a very solid thud. The steering wheel is very similar to other Hyundai steering wheels of the time. It looks good. It has a sporty 3-spoke design, its rim is wrapped in leather, and you get ergonomically very well placed buttons. That being said, this silver piece of trim looks naff, and the rocker switches don't look very well integrated into the steering wheel. Thankfully, the steering column has loads of adjustments in it, which will make it much easier to find a comfortable driving position. The stalks provide excellent dampening too, but they look a bit too busy for you to understand them fully at first glance. Turning to the dials, I think they look excellent. Big white digits on a black background make them very easy to read even for the older generation, and you get an analog fuel and, more importantly, water temperature gauge as well. The trim that frames the rev counter and speedometer though is truly beautiful. A silver trim accompanied by a thin strip of textured metal makes it look opulent and upmarket. I really like that. In between the two main dials, you will find a full color drives information display. This system communicates a comprehensive trip computer, outside temperature, vehicle settings, and service info. It is controlled using the buttons on the right-hand side of the steering wheel next to the cruise control. I really like it. I wish I could say the same about the infotainment system, but I simply can't. It is too dated, even by 2016 standards. The screen is small and monocolor, and you get a host of shortcut buttons. The menu structure isn't actually that bad, but it is unintuitive to use as a whole. A touchscreen system is far superior. Thankfully, this one is well equipped. You get a USB input, auxiliary port, and Bluetooth audio. The standard fit sound system doesn't sound too bad either. Turning to the climate controls, it is quite an oversized panel. It is a proper dual zone setup. Two dials control the temperature, while similarly sized and shaped buttons control the air placement and the fan speed. It isn't quite as well thought out as other cars though, as you have to take your eyes off the road to make sure you hit the right buttons. Said buttons and dials feel of very high quality though. The seats are on the firm side, but they provide very good lower back support. The driver's seat is electrically adjustable and you get variable lumbar support. I doubt that you will have any issue finding a comfortable driving position behind the wheel of a Tucson. The perforated leather is a neat touch too. With the design out of the way, let's discuss practicality, starting with the Tucson storage solutions. It's really good. You get a well-dampened big glove box, a wide tray area in front of the gear lever, two rather narrow but deep cup holders, a big space underneath the center armrest, decently sized door pockets, a big coin compartment integrated into the door's grab handle, and a sunglasses holder. You will not want for many storage solutions in here. Get in the back and things are very impressive too. Headroom is very good. There is adequate amount of foot room and there's loads of knee room. The seat bench is comfortable too, and the seat backs can even recline. How ritzy. Storage is decent. You get relatively big rear door pockets, a storage net behind each front seat, and two cup holders integrated into the drop-down armrest. A very welcoming addition is rear air vents, something that I'm seeing on more and more cars, something that is very appreciated. The window line is quite high though, so smaller children might not get the best view out. Other than that, I'm impressed. The boot is a great size of 513 litres. You also get 4 tethering hooks, 2 grocery hooks, and a 12-volt socket. It gets better though. There is a full-size alloy spare wheel back there, something that is extremely rare nowadays. The rear bench folds completely flat in a 60-40 split to make room for even more loading space. There is no resulting ridge either, and the load lip is non-existent. It is very well thought out. In fact, if you can forgive some of the materials used, this entire cabin is very impressive. What is the driving experience like though? Starting with driving around town, the Tucson performs quite well. The engine is nice and strong and there's very little turbo lag present. The clutch action is smooth and the gearbox feels snappy. Because of the high driving position, you get an excellent view out front, but rearward visibility is quite limited. The rear window in particular is a bit too small. The turning circle is nice and tight though, which helps maneuverability, and you get a reversing camera that feeds video to the rear view mirror, which is quite interesting. One surprising thing you don't get though is rear park distance control. This does take some getting used to, I must be honest. Out on the twisties, and the Tucson performs quite well. The steering is direct, if a bit numb, there's very little body roll in the corners, and the engine feels strong. I wouldn't call it fun, but it's not bad at all. Out on the open road is where the Tucson feels most at home. Road noise and tire roar is present, but it isn't too deafening. The seats are nice and comfortable and the engine has great mid-range torque. That being said, overtaking might require a downshift or two. The sound system, while it doesn't sound too bad, can sometimes feel as though it is struggling to drown out any unwanted noise. Other than that though, it's smooth sailing. When it comes to reliability, the Tucson performs very well indeed. It finished 11th out of 25 family SUVs in the What Car Reliability Survey. That being said, be sure that your Tucson has a full service history and that it has been well taken care of. Hyundai parts aren't exactly known to be the cheapest. Want something different? Have a look at the Kia Sportage. It has a much more interesting design, for better or worse, and it has good engines, but the looks might not be to everyone's taste. Then there is the Ford Kuga. It has excellent engines, a very well built cabin and good specification, but it has a bad reputation of catching fire. That being said, this was only on the 1.6 EcoBoost engine. The Nissan X-Trail is a worthy contender too, as it offers 7 seats, but it isn't as well built and it is dated by today's standards. Be sure to test drive all of them though. You will be sure to find one that is perfect for you. This is an excellent offering from a Hyundai. The Tucson is safe, it is practical, and it has an excellent turbocharged engine. Standard specification is quite limited though, and there are some trim issues dotted about the cabin, which is surprising at this price point. The positives definitely outweigh the negatives though, so well done Hyundai. Thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It makes such a big difference to my channel. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe and you'll be notified of upcoming reviews. I have many lined up for you guys, so stay tuned. If you own a Tucson and you would like to share your experiences, please use the comment section below. I would love to hear your stories. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Until next time, bye.